And they're off. And off to the early lead, that's number 4, Popcorn Falls by Ferreira, Zaka, Stanley, and Dapper 2 as they head down into the valley. Coming back into the site, that's Popcorn, Ferreira, Zaka, Stanley, and Dapper 2. Down into the valley and approaching the top of the straight, that's Ferreira, Zaka, about 2 back to Popcorn, and another 2 back to Stanley, and about 5 or 6 back to Dapper 2. Into the top of the straight, that's Ferreira, Zaka by 3 or 4 of a Popcorn, another 3 back to Stanley. They're slashing and driving, but it's Ferreira, Zaka today. Ferreira, Zaka by some 5 or 6 lengths. That's Ferreira, Zaka at the wall, followed by Popcorn and Stanley. Bringing up the field, that's Dapper 2. Taking a good look at the judges' stand. Flag is up. They're turning. They're off. That's Jay out to the early lead. Followed by Ruffle the Road. All That Jazz and Ode to Joy. Down into the far corner. That's number 1 Jay with the lead. Followed by Ruffle the Road. Ode to Joy. Let's change that order now as they approach us. That's Ode to Joy in front, followed by Jay, Ruffle the Road, and All That Jazz. Down the hill and out of the sight they go, and that was Ode to Joy last seen in the lead, followed closely by Jay and Ruffle the Road. As they come up the hill and back into the sight, that's Jay back in front, Ode to Joy and Ruffle the Road, but it's Jay and Ode to Joy on the front end.
With a narrow margin over Ode to Joy, followed by Ruffle the Road. It's Jay and Ode to Joy down the stretch. Those two are stride for stride. Head to head, that's Jay and Ode to Joy down the wire. Ode to Joy followed by Jay and Ruffle the Road. Turning, and they're off. Out to the early lead, that's Callahan Ridge. Out quickly by about 8 lengths, that's Callahan Ridge as they head down to the first fence, followed by Lost John and Storm North. They're all over that first fence. Safely, that's Callahan Ridge out front, followed by Storm North, Lost John, and Mr. Bluebird.
We wouldn't take a hold of the bit last week, so
as they turn and head to the second fence, that's Callahan Ridge now opening up some 10-15 lengths. Over that second fence. Followed by Storm North, Lost John, and Mr. Bluebird. Callahan Ridge is now over the third fence. Followed by Storm North, Lost John, and Mr. Bluebird. Approaching the next fence, that's Callahan Ridge in front. Followed by Storm North, Lost John and Mr. Bluebird, but it's Callahan Ridge by some 20-25 lengths over Storm North and Lost John. They turn and head out into the country. That's Callahan Ridge by making 25 over Storm North. Callahan Ridge by making 8 lengths. Storm North in second, trying to make up ground. It's now 8 back to Lost John and about 15 back to Mr. Bluebird. It's Callahan Ridge in front by about 8 lengths over Storm North. 10 back to Lost John and 15 back to Mr. Bluebird. They turn and head down along the woods. That's Callahan Ridge is leading, stringing it down about 5 over Storm North, making 10 back to Lost John and about 15 back to Mr. Bluebird. Heading to the next fence, that's Callahan Ridge in front, followed by Storm North. Those two are back into sight, it's still Callahan Ridge by some 8 lengths over Storm North, about 15 back to Lost John, and another 20 back to Mr. Bluebird. That's Callahan Ridge setting as he comes to the next fence. Callahan Ridge in front by about 5 over Storm North. Those two are over, heading up to the coop. Next over is Lost John, followed by Mr. Bluebird. Up to the coop they go. That's Callahan Ridge showing the way by about 4 over Storm North and make it 8 back to Lost John. All horses are now over the coop and heading down to the first fence for the last time. That's Callahan Ridge and Storm North. Those two have opened up a wide margin on the rest of the field. Both are over that fence. That's Callahan Ridge by about 4 over Storm North, followed by Lost John and Mr. Bluebird. 4 fences to go. That's Callahan Ridge going away. Storm North, about 4 back. As they approach the 4th to last fence, that's Callahan Ridge by some 6 over Storm North. They've got 3 to go. Callahan Ridge showing the way to the 3rd to last fence. Those two are now over the 3rd to last fence, followed by Lost John and Mr. Bluebird. But with 2 fences to go, it's Callahan Ridge and Storm North. As they approach the 2nd to last fence, those two are over, and as they come to the last fence, it's all Callahan Ridge on top, followed by Storm North and Lost John. That's Callahan Ridge approaching the last fence on top. Storm North has pulled up. Callahan Ridge is now over and going down the stretch easily. That's Rachel Walsh on Callahan Ridge all over at the wire, followed by Alexandra Robertson on Lost John. Mr. Bluebird and Storm North coming down the stretch for 3rd and 4th. It's Storm North and Mr. Bluebird, Mr. Bluebird and Storm North. I think that was and Len Sabatino. come to the first fence, that's clearly special. Temple, Owl, Sleepy, and Stonebuster. They're all over that fence. It's clearly special with about a 4 to 5 length advantage over Temple, Owl, about 1 back to Sleepy, and about another 2 back to Stonebuster. As they approach the next fence, that's still clearly special on top by about 3 over Temple, Owl, clearly special. Sleepy and Stonebuster. They're all over that fence. That's the third fence. That's clearly special. Temple, Owl, Sleepy, and Stonebuster. They're all over that fence safely and still clearly special with the lead by about 5 lengths over Temple, Owl, a couple back to Sleepy, and another couple back to Stonebuster.
As they approach the next fence, that's clearly special. Temple, Owl, Sleepy, and Stonebuster. As they make the turn out into the country, that's clearly special with about a 4-length advantage over Temple, Owl. It's about 4 back to Sleepy and another 4 back to Stonebuster. Over that next fence, that's still clearly special. Temple, Owl, Sleepy, and Stonebuster. They're all over that fence. That's clearly special by about 4 over Temple, Owl, making about 6 back to Sleepy and another 4 back to Stonebuster.
About 10 back to Sleepy and about another 5, 6 back to Stonebuster. They're over that fence. That's still clearly special by about 4 over Temple, Owl, about 8 back to Sleepy and another 5 back to Stonebuster. They head to the coop. The first 2 are over that fence. That's still clearly special by about 4 over Temple, Owl, about 8 back to Sleepy and another 3 or 4 back to Stonebuster. Back to Sleepy and Stonebuster. They're all over that fence and they've got 4 to go. And last night that was clearly special with a small lead over Temple, Owl. As they approach the 4th to last fence, that's still clearly special, but his lead's only 3 legs. Temple, Owl is right there in challenging position. As they come down to the hill to the 3rd to last fence, that's clearly special by about 3 over Temple, Owl. It's 10 to 15 back to Sleepy and Stonebuster. Those 2 are heading apart. 2 fences to go. It's clearly special and Temple, Owl. clearly special on top, but its lead is diminished. That's clearly special in Temple with one fence to go. Paul Rowland and Billy Meister have these two horses in high gear now with one fence to go. Coming to the left. That's clearly special in Temple. It's still clearly special with a slight advantage.
Clearly special's first over, but here comes Temple as they come down the stretch. That's clearly special by about 3 over Temple.
Clearly special by 4 over Temple. And down the stretch for third comes Stonebuster and Sleepy.
That's going to be Stonebuster in third, followed by Dr. on Sleepy.
Hey, Emma. Hi, Emma.
Where's Jim Graham?
In the picture,
Hi, Emma.
very much so, are Jay Meister, one of the principals of Polaris Stable, and his son Gavin.
Making a turn, flags are up, and they're off. Out to the early lead, that's Corona Effect, followed by Redlands, Prospect, and Melting.
Concentrate on your navel. Yep, that's your center of balance right there.
I'd rather lean on John's truck and then keep galloping.
As they head to the first, that's Corona Effect, followed by Melting and Redlands Prospect. That's Corona Effect first over with a lead of about 3 lengths, followed by Melting and Redlands Prospect. As they turn and head to the second, that's still Corona Effect in front, followed by Melting and Redlands Prospect. All 3 are safely over the second fence and heading down the hill. That's Corona Effect in front, followed by Melting and Redlands Prospect. Those 3 now are over the third and tightly bunched as they head up the hill into the fourth. That's Corona Effect in front by some 3 lengths over Melting and Redlands Prospect. Corona Effect and Redlands Prospect jumped that fence together with Redlands Prospect now taking up the lead. That's Redlands Prospect, Corona Effect, and Melting.
They've now switched that lead again. That's Corona Effect now by about 2-3 lengths over Redlands Prospect, followed by Melting. Out in the country, that's Corona Effect on top by about 2 over Redlands Prospect and Melting. 5 lengths separates the field front to back. That's Corona Effect in front. Redlands Prospect with a very sticky fence there, but rider Peter Blauner is still in attack.
Who's the white one?
Melting and close that gap now. Corona Effect making the lead now 2-3 lengths. About 5 lengths to Redlands Prospect. The horses make the turn and head down along the woods. That's still Corona Effect by 2-3 lengths over Melting, making 5 back to Redlands Prospect.
Oh, that race is a long way she got. I think she's in good shape.
Those 2 are over, and Redlands Prospect is now over. Corona Effect in front by 3 as they head down behind the woods. Melting is Redlands Prospect. As they come back into sight, that's still Corona effect by about 3 or 4 over Melting and about 4 back to Redlands Prospect. That's Corona effect by about 2 over Melting, 3 back to Redlands Prospect. Up the hill they go, heading to the coop. That's Corona effect, Melting and Redlands Prospect. Corona effect, first server, Brian Corell and a sticky fence there on Melting, and second, Redlands Prospect. They head down the hill into the first fence for the last time. That's Corona effect on top by about 3 or 4 over Melting, and about 1 or 2 back to Redlands Prospect. Corona effect is first over, followed closely by Melting, and about 4 back to Redlands Prospect. With 4 fences to go, that's still Corona effect, but his lead is narrowed and Melting is moving up on the outside. Melting is now moved up to challenge for the lead. With 3 fences to go, it's those 2 horses out in front, head to head. As they come to the third to the left, that's Melting first over with Corona effect right there, followed by Redlands Prospect. And Corona effect with 1 fence to go. That's Corona effect and Melting. Those 2 at the top of the straight, heads apart. It's Corona effect and Melting at the last bit of full drive. Corona effect gets there first and is first over, followed by Melting. It's Corona effect down the wire with the lead. That's Corona effect and Rachel Ross at the wire by about 5 over Melting and another 10 back to Redlands Prospect. Horses are now walking out onto the track and the flag is up. They're turning and they're off. Out first is Roosevelt, followed closely by Southwoods and about 3 back to Narrow River. As they approach the first fence, that's now Narrow River in front, followed by Solo Lord and Southwood. Narrow River with about a 2 to 3 length advantage over Solo Lord and a couple more back to Southwood. As they head up to the second, that's still Narrow River on top, a couple back to Solo Lord and about 3 back to Southwood. Still all over that by about 2. Solo Lord next, followed by Southwood. They're all over the third fence and it's still Narrow River in front, followed by Solo Lord and Southwood.
As they head uphill into the third fence, that's Narrow River in front, Solo Lord and Southwood jumping that fence together.
as they make the turn to head out into the country. That's Narrow River on top by about 3. Solo Lord and Southwoods are right there. They approach the next fence, and it's Narrow River with a narrow lead over Solo Lord has now moved up the challenge, and it's about 3 back to Southwoods. It's now Solo Lord and Narrow River and Southwoods. Solo Lord has taken up the lead now. He's got about a 2-length advantage over Narrow. Southwoods, and it's 2 back to Narrow River. They come to the next fence, it's still Solo Lord showing the way, but Southwoods jumping with him at that fence, followed by Narrow River. Solo Lord scoots ahead to pick up his advantage by about 2 or 3 again at the coop. All the horses put in big fences over the coop. Southwoods and Narrow River. They head down to the hill to the first fence for the last time. That's Solo Lord on front.
Hey, Gil, can you give me a ride back to that fence?
That's still Solo Lord at that fence, followed by Southwoods and Narrow River. And Solo Lord by 1 over Southwoods and about 3 back to Narrow River. They have 4 fences to go. As they come to the board to the left, that's still Solo Lord with about a 2-length advantage over Southwoods, who has a 2-length advantage over Narrow River. They turn and come down the hill into the third to left. It's still Solo Lord on top. Southwoods right there, and Narrow River trying to make up ground. Those 3 are over that fence with 2 to go, but it was still Solo Lord in front, followed by Southwoods and Narrow River. It's still Solo Lord, but Southwoods is moving up. Those 2 jumped that fence together with 1 fence to go. We got Solo Lord and Southwoods taking up the front end, their heads apart. It's Solo Lord and Southwoods, and Narrow River is now making ground up the challenge, but it's still Solo Lord and Southwoods. They're that last fence and down the stretch they come. It's Solo Lord and Southwoods and Narrow River. Those horses are all tightly apart.
I'm the unauthorized.
Then get out of the way. There's something behind you now. Marjorie, come on in. Marjorie, get tucked down. Just kneel down. There you go.
Horses have now reached the start and the flag is up. And they're off. Out to the early lead, that's Bud B. As they come to this next fence, that's Rotten Rumson and Sassy Fleet. Sassy Fleet in front by about 2 lengths over Rotten Rumson, about 4 or 5 back to St. John.
And Ryan's turn.
As they turn to head out into the country. That's Sassy Fleet, Rotten Rumson, Alistair, Ryan's turn. John and Ryan's turn.
Sassy Fleet is really out there running. That's Sassy Fleet by about 5 or 6.
Well, that's still Sassy Fleet in front. Rotten Rumson, St. John and Ryan's turn. On top, Rotten Rumson about 4 or 5 off. It's now about 15, make it 20 lengths back to Ryan's turn and 2 back to St. John, but it's Sassy Fleet as they come to the next fence. Sassy Fleet with a very bad fence there, unseating the rider. Now it's Rotten Rumson all alone on the front end by about 20 over Ryan's turn and St. John. Could we get an ambulance down to that fence by the entrance? It's Rotten Rumson out in front by about 10, 15 lengths over Ryan's turn. Next comes St. John.
Thought he was going to jump over right. Thought I was directly beyond you guys.
Those first 3 fence horses are over that fence. They've now got 4 fences to go. That's still Sassy Fleet out in front, followed by, that's Rotten Rumson. As they go to the 4th to last fence, that's Rotten Rumson, followed by Ryan's turn. Coming down with 3 to go, that's Rotten Rumson and Ryan's turn moving up the challenge. They're both over that fence, they have 2 to go. It's Rotten Rumson and Ryan's turn.
Here they come to the second to last. That's Rotten Rumson and Ryan's turn. Those 2 heads apart as they go to the top of the straight with 1 fence to go. Now it's Ryan's turn pulling away. Ryan's turn and Rotten Rumson with 1 to go. At the top of the straight, that's Ryan's turn. Over the last and down the straight.
That's Ryan's turn and Rotten Rumson. That's the last. That's
St. John is over that fence and will be 3rd.
Lucy. Those two with one fence to go. That's Alistair and Lucy. At the last, Alistair and Lucy. They're both over that fence and down the stretch. These two come and it's a duel. It's